Hi there, my name's Brian Rodan. I'm the Executive Chairman of Iceni Gold, ASX code ICL. We're going to run you through the Iceni exploration program and a presentation. And just before we start, I'd like to introduce to Dave Nixon, the company's Technical Director, who's in charge of the exploration program.
Hi, I'm Dave Nixon. I'm with Iceni Gold as the Technical Director, working with Brian Rodan. And we'd like to have a look at some of the exploration work that we've got lined up.
Yeah, look, thanks for that, Dave. Yeah, guys, Iceni Gold, huge exploration project in the Laverton Greenstone Belt. We'll take you through the presentation here today and explain its full potential. Everyone's an experienced investor, I'm sure. Guys, we're in the Laverton Greenstone Belt. You know, it's not far from Kalgoorlie. You know, the famous Kalgoorlie's mined 60 million ounces. Probably got another 60 million ounces to come out of it. You know, the 40 Mile Well project, the image on the left, the tenements here in yellow, next door to a company called Iceni Gold. And everyone in that region there, there's some very well-known companies, St. Barbara Mines, particularly Northern Star's very close proximity at Thunderbox. And you've got other companies there as well. In relationship to our mineralisation, we're looking at intrusion-related gold. This is very similar to the Wallaby, Jupiter and Cameron Well deposits. These are world-class deposits. We believe we've got orogenic low gold as well, tapping off the Castlemaine fault and the second and third order pathways. And we've also demonstrated volcanogenic massive sulfides. We're in the Yilgarn Craton of Western Australia. It's the Eastern Goldfields super terrain. Now, this is the best address in Australia, produced 130 million ounces. And specifically our tenements in the Canalpi terrain. And, we've got 8 to 10 project areas. I'll go through some of the introduction in some of these areas, and then Dave Nixon will jump on and talk about them specifically. But look, we're in the right address for gold. This is the region. If you're mining gold in Western Australia, there's only two places. One's Kalgoorlie, and the other's the Leonora and Laverton district. You've got Granny Smith and Sunrise Dam. These are large internationally operated companies, been there for a long, long time. Each mine in the order of around 8 to 10 million ounces. And probably 8 to 10 million ounces still in resources. When Iceni listed in 2020, we're looking for a big one. We're not looking for a small deposit. We're looking for very large, similar deposits to these sort of things. And that's what we're trying to achieve. So look, Dave will go through the exploration of the key targets. And obviously be happy to answer other questions after the presentation. Thank you.
Okay, so just looking at the map we have here on the left. The landscape in and around our project is dominated by Lake Carey, so it's a huge salt lake. But underneath that is the Celia Fault. And this is a large, very large craton scale structure. So it's about 700 kilometres long, and it passes just adjacent to the property. But a splay coming off that fault, the Castlemaine fault, runs right through the middle of our property. And majority of our target areas touch this fault and potentially link to it. So these are the key controlling structures. And we think that there's second order, third order structures coming off of there that will be prospective for gold. So just looking at one of those target areas, this is the Gaia area. What we've found at Gaia from doing field work and some limited drilling in that area, we've got gold results in rock chips. We've got gold results in soils, and the soil anomalies are shown here in the red lassos map on the left. The gold found in the drilling lines up with the gold in the soils, and also we've found on surface gold nuggets in the surface alluvium. So we think that the gold nuggets are linked to these anomalies, and it requires follow-up work to try and tie it all down. So recent work has extended the nugget anomaly another couple of kilometres to the south, and we've also found a banded ions, and this district banded ions linked to mineralisation in a number of the large deposits. And we have a banded ion here that is carrying gold, and we were able to find that banded ion and push it further north another couple of kilometres. So now the gold nugget anomaly and the banded ion anomaly overlap. So we anticipate these anomalous areas will continue to grow, and that'll be good for this particular area. Right. Just having a look here, there's some of the nuggets that have been found in the Gaia area. So the ones on the left are much brighter. They've been cleaned. And the two parcels on the right, you can see there, these nuggets. It's a real mix. Some are quite flattened and rounded. They've travelled some distance, but a lot of them are very angular. They have not gone far at all. They're very close to home. So we're just talking to research people at the moment to try and better understand the features that we see in these nuggets. And we think that this will give us some guidance to focus our exploration activity. This is the Everleigh target area. The map on the left is a consolidation of a number of data sets that show us the distribution of gold. And what we have running down the middle, that heavy dashed line's the Castlemaine Fault, tearing through the area. And coming off of that, we're interpreting a number of structures or second-order splays, and they're the lighter dashed lines. And these line up with gold trends. So gold in rock chips, gold in drilling, gold in the form of nuggets on surface or specimen stones. So certainly the Everleigh area, we're seeing gold in pieces of rock, either in the drainages or rolling down slopes. So they're in the talus. So they are close to home. So this really matters. And also we're seeing larger pieces of gold. So the largest one here that we've got shown in the image there, that's a 1 ounce nugget. That was not too far down in the alluvium. So it's really good to see large pieces like that because they do not travel far. So just looking at some of those samples. So here's the two specimens that we've recovered so far. So EB1 was an alluvial cobble out of a drainage. So there's quite a bit of gold in this. So we've had the sample examined by OreXplore. So they've taken an X-ray image, essentially like an MRI of the rock, and we can see the gold within the rock. So the model that we've got of that, we can roll it around and see the distribution in 3D of where the gold is. We know there's different types of gold, and the gold has different compositions. So there's different processes that form that gold. But the key thing is there's an early style of gold, and that's the style of gold that we are chasing, right? So this cobble's been rolled down a drainage. It's been eroded from an outcrop somewhere along that drainage, and we are searching for it. The second piece, EB2, that one there is not a quartz vein. That's actually a sediment. And the gold, you can see there's small traces of gold there in the rock. This is off a talus slope, and that rock is very close to home. So that one, we're working hard to try and locate the source, and then we can chase that and potentially drill it. Just a close-up of the Everleigh specimen EB1 at the moment that it was found. So there it is there, rough and dirty, but it's a beautiful thing. This is the North 1 target, Recon 1. So we've drilled this target here. We had some positive diamond results. So we were seeing some low-level gold anomalism in there. Essentially, the initial target was a magnetic anomaly, so a bullseye magnetic anomaly. These bullseye-style anomalies are interpreted in this district to be associated with intrusions like cyanites or carbonatites, and these intrusions have strong associations with gold within this district and others like the Abitibi as well. At the moment, we are conducting multi-element work to try and understand the anomalism and Pathfinder elements associated with this. But at the central part of this system, we've drilled a pair of porphyries, and these porphyries have a well-established magnetic halo. So the model that we went in to explore ends up being true. That's exactly what we went in for, and we found it. So that mineralisation in there is associated with copper. So we see in the image on the right, there's chalcopyrite pyrrhotite, and we do get some arsenopyrite. So there's a metal assemblage there associated with those intrusions. It's attractive for gold. The Claypan target area sits on the northern part of our project. Just about every hole there was overwhelmingly altered, and the style of geology up there, we've identified that as being a VMS style environment. So looking at the district, we know there's other VMS systems in the district. So this is the right environment for that to occur. The alteration matches it, and we're currently doing other multi-element work on these samples and other parts of the drilling to try and understand the distribution of Pathfinder elements. Haig's Bore is a fresh target. It was identified by the soil sampling, the ultrafine soil sampling. What we've found is we have a gold anomaly and gold and multi-elements sitting on and around a central intrusive body. The current interpretation, it's a cyanite-associated intrusion. So this is favourable, we feel, for this district. So it has some potential here for gold, and we'll explore this one in the immediate to near future with on-ground fieldwork. Looking here at Goose Well, again, is another cyanite-associated intrusion. So you can see there in the image on the right, that intrusion is throwing a very strong potassium anomaly. So the image is potassium radiometrics. And we've got tellurium rock chips. Now we've also had gold rock chips and gold nuggets recovered on surface across this area. So it's very attractive for us. So on-ground fieldwork will continue until we can refine some good targets for further, more detailed follow-up work. Here we have the results from the CSIRO UFF soil sampling, so the ultrafine soils. In this instance, we're looking at the gold results. So the map shows the gold deposits across the district. Some of the big ones there, you have Granny Smith, Jupiter Wallaby, Sunrise Dam. They're very close by. Our soil results give us some really quite compelling targets to follow up. Some of these we've already been working on. The Gaia trend, there's a number of anomalies in there that we're already looking at. We've put some air core drilling over those. So we've already discussed that. But looking at some of these other ones, these targets are quite fresh. So at Everly Well, we've got soil anomalies there that haven't been looked at. Crossroads in the northern area there, that's a really quite interesting anomaly. It's 2.5 kilometres long. The big one that dominates the area, East Well, it sits just off the Castlemaine Fault there, and that's 5 kilometres across in both directions. Similar, we got Breakaway Well sits down on the southwest corner there, and adjacent to that is Burgess Bore and Granite Bore. So these are some of the fresh targets that just haven't been touched yet. So let's watch this space. Our district is not just a gold district, it's one of the very well endowed nickel districts. So we've got two major operations immediately on our borders. So Murrin is currently in operation, and it's producing quite a lot of nickel. And they've got a lot of deposits there that they're operating. And currently under construction, we have the Alliance Nickel project. It'll be at Kilkenny and Eucalyptus. So again, all of these are jammed hard against our boundaries. And essentially, we're sitting within the infrastructure envelope of these operations. So looking here at the UFF, so this is platinum. We have identified a number of platinum, palladium, nickel, chrome anomalies. So these are what you think associated with the nickel or with an ultramafic style target. And we've got 4 of these identified already, looking at follow-up on these. So Christmas Gift, Bellbird, there in the central part of the project. And down on the southern edge, we have the Granite Bore West and South. So those ones there. So there's a few other areas there that are certainly lighting up, but the ones we've identified so far, they've got more stronger anomalism that requires follow-up first. So just looking at the district, so this photo was taken from top of a large hill next to Haig's Bore. And essentially what you can see is about 30, 40 million ounces of gold there. I mean, Red October to the south, Sunrise directly out to the east. And then to the northeast, we have that cluster there, Granny Smith, Wallaby, Jupiter, and all the way up to Mount Morgan's in the northern position. And in the landscape, you can see Lake Carey there, that large salt lake that dominates the environment. But that's really quite something, right? This district hosts an enormous amount of gold. Yeah. This is the board of directors, the team. So, they're a good crew, and it's fairly solid. And thank you.
Right, thanks for that, Dave. It's very insightful. And for all you people listening, guys, I mean, this is one of the best exploration projects in Australia, possibly in the world. And we urge you to come onto our website. We'll go to the ASX or on your app and buy some Iceni shares and become involved. We'd like to hear from you, to talk to you, or just do your thing and hit the buy button. Look, you can contact our office. You got our email address on the website. Got my phone number. We'd be happy to talk to you. Thank you very much, and thank you to the Arrowhead team.